right? Yeah, as well the physics paper again you can say moderate, few questions were not too are tough, you can say, right? And the questions were like this, like solids elasticity question was finding the Young's modulus. Okay, so just the graph is given for stress versus strain graph is given, just asking Young's modulus for different wires, and the graph is linear given. Simply compare Young's modulus slope of the stress strain curve gives for Young's modulus y is equal to stress by strain, and the given options in the graph a b c, d graph slope is more is the slope, stress by strain value is more, so Young's modulus is more based on basic simple slope concept. The question is given, so now you can expect in our in coming sessions questions like stress strain graph may be given, and for 2 points where brittleness is more, and where what you can call the property of conductors by virtue of which we can yield them into wires. Okay, that is ductility. Okay, so if the gap is more, metal is more ductile. If the gap is less, the metal is more brittle. Such kind of questions you can see. Or in solids, elastic potential energy half into stress into strain into volume. Okay, energy density means half into stress into strain. Such kind of questions they may ask, or hysteresis they ask. So area must be small for dissipation of energy less. Okay, you can go through these questions. Or sometimes they may ask relation between Young's modulus, bulk modulus, shear modulus, or basic questions of stress by strain. Okay, such kind of questions you can go through for next sessions, you can say. And one more question based on students, electric flux and Gauss law. So standard questions we know, when charge is placed at the vertex of a what you can call cube. Okay, for closing the cube from all sides we need 7 more identical cubes, so that entire surface will be closed. Then the total flux will be 1 by epsilon of time charge enclosed, right? But here in this today's session, the morning session 23rd is one charge placed at the vertex, another charge placed at the center of the face. Okay, so net flux is how much he's saying. So because of that through the cube is asking. Okay, so one actually what you can call, so total flux through the cube means the flux through because of charge placed at vertex will be, okay, how much it will be, identical 7 required, no, so one will be see this flux of this charge will be shared by 8 identical cubes, so flux by one cube will be 1/8 of total flux. So q by epsilon, q means here 2q given. Okay, that is one. And next, flux because of this charge placed at the face, to close the cube completely, one more identical cube you can place. Then what happened, that flux because of this q charge will be shared by 2 cubes. Flux through one cube will be again half of the q by epsilon naught. Okay, so total flux to the given cube is now flux because of the 2q charge at vertex, so flux because of the charge q plus at the center of the face of the cube. Okay, so basic questions, it is good only, and in 2-3 steps you can get the answer. Okay, you might have done that question. Yeah, one more question is like projectile motion. So yesterday's afternoon session also this question is asked. So when a particle is projected with some velocity u, so and velocity vector make an angle of 45 something at maximum height is given, or some at some location given. So it's asking what is the velocity at that point. So simple concept there. Throughout the motion of the projectile, we know horizontal component of velocity remains the same. So here at the point of projection, u cos theta. At point V, where making angle 45, that must be equal to here u cos 60. Here angle of projection is given 60 degrees. So from there you can calculate the V. So same model question today also given. So in the 23rd first session also. Ratio of speed at highest point to speed at a point of projection asking. Again same concept. So here at point of projection speed u, there you can say what are the angle is given v cos theta and all. Highest point means theta 0 degrees with the horizontal. Okay, so here will be u, there will be u cos theta. Why? Because vertical component 0. Simply take the ratio. Okay, one question that is asked for today's session in the morning. And one more is for looping the loop question. You know all of you, in circular motion, for looping the loop, what you have done, at bottommost point the velocity must be equal to root 5 gl. Okay, so here some memory based some questions were given, like students are saying simple pendulum is released. When simple pendulum is released and it is hitting a block, and that block is actually rising along a arc or a curved path, you can say. So this velocity and a collision, if you assume elastic collision, identical block if you take, they exchange their velocities, and this velocity for looping the loop must be equal to root 5 gl. By using conservation of energy, you can solve the question. Okay, and then next one question in optics like prism, total net deviation 0, dispersion 0. Standard question, omega 1 delta 1 plus omega 2 delta 2 is equal 0 for net dispersion 0. Okay, and dispersive power all we have seen no in the job while you are studying. Similarly, net deviation 0, so deviation because of first prism plus deviation because of second prism, so make it equal to net deviation is equal to 0. And you can find mu minus 1 into a plus mu minus 1 into a dash is equal 0. Okay, mu minus 1 into a is equal minus of mu dash minus 1 into a dash. So from there a dash by a you can find refractive index of prisms are given. Okay, and next we have moment of inertia question. Again rod kind of question is asked. Again the rods are placed like a square shape. Okay, such condition models. And yesterday's session you can say two discs are placed in contact and a moment of inertia finding about common tangent. That means every session if you see question based on moment of inertia and optics are actually repeated. So in today's session I think almost 3 questions were repeated in the optics. Okay, 2 to 3 questions. Yeah, one and yeah, only one question repeated in optics and one vertical circular motion. A moment of inertia question is repeated. Again, motional EMF. Yesterday also motional EMF question is given like U-shaped frame we have. A rod is released. Okay, so when it is released, flux passing through the what you can call loop formed by the rod is changing. Assume that flux is perpendicular to plane. Then you know motion EMF develop BLV and a current I is equal to BLV by R. Their force asking after what time or with what maximum critical velocity will move is saying. That means downward gravitational force should balance the motional EMF force. That is F is equal to what is BIL. I is BLV by R. If both of them equal, you will get the value of V. And similarly, today's question also, the question is like student, emotional EMF only asked. It is same mass of rod of length L forms rest horizontal magnetic field B. Find the value of induced EMF and it is falls through a height h. When it falls through a height h, V is equal to root 2 GH. V is got and BLV. So BLV into root 2 GH. Direct question asked. Comparatively, yesterday's question to today's question was slightly easier. And then standard question on Zener diode as a voltage regulator. Okay, you can go through it. Standard you might have done so many questions, right? You might have done. And next capacitors combination is given and dielectrics are inserted. You can say which are in series, which are in parallel and equivalent capacitance. Okay, and in Young's double slit experiment they compared for two different sources. Okay, two monochromatic lights, different wavelengths are used. If their fringe widths are equal, beta formula is what? Lambda capital D by small d. And if they are equal, is asking the ratio of wavelengths by giving the conditions for slit separation and this time it is screen and the slit separation. Okay, so that you can do that question. And next one more question is simple pendulum like that formula based T is equal to 2 pi root L by G. Simple pendulum questions also repeating. Yesterday also when a time period of a simple pendulum on surface of the earth. Okay, and one more is like satellite time period depends on the what you can call a radio density of the earth question is asked. And today direct from oscillation time period question T is equal to 2 pi root L by G formula based question is asked. Then center of mass collision. In collision is asking energy loss in perfectly not perfect inelastic collision like we have seen. Okay, initial kinetic energy, final kinetic energy, velocities blocks are coming in opposite direction. Okay, opposite direction they are hitting. Conservation of momentum, you will get the velocities. Okay, and then find rising temperatures. Energy lost will what happens will rise in temperature. So that question is one asked. And then as I mentioned before, moment of inertia of square shaped rods. Okay, as it is standard question. And one more question like AC, what you can call resonance frequency. Okay, in AC yesterday's session LR transient circuit is asked. Current I is equal to I naught into 1 minus e to the power of minus t by tau when current becomes 1 by eta of maximum current. Okay, so that integer type question it is asked. And today in AC it has been asked from resonating frequency students. Omega is 1 by root LC question. So just see the purpose is that if you go through this kind of questions, no, next this kind of models may promptly may repeat also. Okay, so that's why you should not neglect these papers. And yesterday also few questions like in afternoon session Same projectile I mentioned, and like charges are placed along a circular frame. Okay, so diametrical opposite plus q minus q plus q. What is the net field at the center? Okay, and potential kind of questions were repeated. Okay, by vector addition laws you can do it. And question based on thermal conductivity, like thermal resistance question, R is equal to L by K we have. Okay, a junction temperature finding models are there, the square shape kind of thing, V stone bridge kind of things. Okay, you have to go to them. And slabs in series and slabs in parallel likely may repeat in upcoming session. And then yesterday or day before yesterday also one question based on dimension formula, electrical thermal conductivity. Okay, so all those in dimensions also they are asking the questions. And logic questions, logic gates are almost they are repeating every session. And optics question, two lenses in combination, combined focal length, magnification formula, separated, that kind of model. Meter bridge and potentiometer questions are getting repeated. And in previous JEE, we used it to find what is the pressure at a particular point in a rotating tube. Okay, so here today they ask in yesterday session, sorry, they ask about a gas is filled in a U-shaped rod kind of tube. Okay, a tube which is like a rod. Okay, inside hollow, gas is filled and rotating with some angular velocity. So then asking find pressure at the other end of the beam. Same like the way we have done for fluids, no? Same way we can calculate the force, and from there, so when you find the relate the pressure formula for ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT, and from there pressure if you find out, we'll get the answer. Okay, like that model. And then adiabatic process. Before sessions, first law of thermodynamics, internal energy, and dq at constant pressure, du at what you can call cv at constant volume, no, that we have seen dv and cvdt model ask. And this time question based on adiabatic expansion, like temperature and volume relation question, tv power gamma minus 1 is equal constant based question. And again yesterday's afternoon session simple pendulum question, but electric field. Normally pendulum is oscillating, right? When it is electric field, a horizontal electric field is switched on. When horizontal electric field is switched on, what happens? You can consider at any particular angle in equilibrium theta, charge is given to pendulum. QE charge will be rightward, mg will be downward, tension is what? Radially, and net tension will be equal to QE square plus mg square. Why? QE and mg are perpendicular. Okay, that question you might have remember now, right? Sure, that question is asked directly. And then one more optics question, like spherical surface is given, object is placed at a distance. Okay, first curved surface image will act like object for second curved surface. Formula did you remember? Mu2 by v minus mu1 by u is equal to mu2 minus mu1 by r. Okay, that model is being repeated, student. Again, motional EMF. And in statement 1, statement 2 type questions, pressure because of liquid and surface tension is asked. Okay, yeah, surface tension is a phenomena because of surface energy of the molecules. Okay, if you take bulk molecules from well inside on the surface, now we are doing the work done will store as surface energy. And one more question, I think yesterday's morning or after, exactly didn't remember, but the model is important. Okay, when the bubbles coil is, okay, what happens? So energy will be what? Released. Okay, so total work done is equal surface tension into, okay, 4 pi r square into n power 1 by 3 minus 1 question model formula, isn't it? Work done and energy release formula, that model. And today's one more question is also like droplets are combined, then comparing the potential and electric field model, that question in electrostatics. In fluids, when bubbles combined are coalesce, okay, what the amount of energy released, that model. Okay, so the such kind of models are repeated. Again in yesterday's session, prism, again one more question, like incidentting at first surface and grazing the second surface. Okay, you can previously like a condition for no emergence we have seen mu is equal to cosecant a by 2 formula. Okay, that model directly formula based he give. Okay, at two surfaces you can apply Snell's law and you can get the answer. And like charged masses, sorry, not charged masses, only mass particles, okay, are placed at vertex of a square. Then another test mass is placed at center, find net gravitational force. Direct vectorial addition you can do it. Fine, such kind of model question is repeated. Again then in sound waves, Doppler effect you can say, not Doppler effect, you can interference of sound waves you can say. So when how many maximas minimas are forming, and then finding the frequency asked. Okay, once you go through it. And in EMI also coils are placed adjacent to each other. Okay, three coils are there. So first coil, second coil, third coil. Second coil, third coil current direction is same. Okay, when currents are in the same direction, we'll find force of attraction. And in the first coil, direction of current he's asking. Okay, you can apply Lenz law and you can find out. And moment of inertia or discs already we explained. And one more model is like see this question both in electrostatics as well as in gravitation, field and potential relation. Okay, so we know dv is equal minus e bar dot dr. Directly electric field function is given and potential at one particular point with coordinates given. Find the potential at origin is asking. So we're going from that particular given point like 10 comma 20 something given to origin. So dv is equal minus e bar dot dr. Integrate it. Okay, so this is how standard questions from optics, electrostatics, gravitation, optics, interference, EMI, okay, prism type of questions, okay, and maximum power transfer theory, electrical energy density, magnetic energy density, dimension formula questions. Okay, one side physical quantity, other side comparing dimension formula, Boltzmann constant, thermal conductivity, inductance, spring constant. Let us better go through all the dimensions. Okay, basic standard values. This is how the papers were. So students, only one thing I would like to say and conclude is that questions are repeating on the same type of concepts. So better go through it and have 1 second cross check for previous year questions. This year likely their questions are repeating. Okay, we have seen like projectile question repeated same thing in rotation also. In first session I think January 21st session, moment of a rod is suspended horizontally, finding tension when one string is cut. Same yesterday's morning session, one question is given like a pulley is there, two blocks are there. Okay, when block is moving with distance of from 3.6 meter, okay, find the velocity. That question, decrease in gravitational potential energy of the left side one, increase in gravitational potential of the right side one, plus total kinetic energy. And one more session they ask the question like this, no? So we are having a ring and rods are placed in a diametrically cross way or perpendicular way, and a pulley, there are common center, they are rotating. Okay, again same model. That is same model question types of questions are repeating, students. So please go through all the standard questions and confidently revise formulas. Okay, and without tension nicely go for the exam. If you feel tense, nothing is gain, everything last will only, isn't it? So that's fine. So please be cool and attempt the question with cautiously, revise all your fundamentals clearly. Okay, so go for the exam. And if you like the analysis, so please like, subscribe and share.